the behavioral interview. Let's talk about it. I know that's why you're here. How about over the last 20 years, the percentage of Fortune 500 companies that have implemented the behavioral interview within their process has increased from 5% to 75%. Additionally, in a 2018 survey conducted by LinkedIn, 89% of recruiters and hiring managers felt that the behavioral interview was highly effective. Hello, my name is Ray Stovall, co-host of the No Update podcast and founder of Recruited.tips, a site really dedicated to helping bridge the gap, the knowledge gap that exists between recruiting and the job seekers. In this video, I will walk you through the 3 things that you need to do to prepare and have success for your next behavioral interview with any company, any place, anytime. Your preparation really needs to be broken down into 3 areas. Number 1, research. Number 2, story generation. And number 3, like Allen Iverson once said,
we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
We live in a time right now where as soon as you're done with your next interview, within seconds you can hop online and put the exact questions in that you were asked to pay it forward to the next person. If you've never utilized this strategy before, simply head to glassdoor.com, hover your mouse over the careers tab and select interview questions. Once in, input the job title that you are interviewing for and hit search. I use project manager as the job title, and although there were 79,000 answers submitted, you can guess the type of the number 1 question. Can you tell me about a time when your stakeholders disagreed with you on a project? That's a behavioral question, 100%. At larger companies, you can take it a step further and go into the interview section of their company page. Currently at Meta, where I work, there are 11,000 interviews submitted on Glassdoor, and 342 of them were submitted by project managers. Look at the details of each review. I know it can be tedious, but you look until you start to identify trends. You may see that there's a common question that's asked more frequently than others. That's what you're preparing for. For a consolidated list of questions that I personally see a lot, I've linked our behavioral prep guide right here. Check it out. When I'm working with a new candidate and we're headed into the behavioral interview round, the one thing that I always focus on is the PAR method. The PAR method is a technique that allows you to answer situational questions about your past in a very smooth and easy way. The P stands for problem. The A stands for action. That's what you did to resolve said problem. And the R stands for results. It's pretty much any and everything that came from the work that you did. Now, getting into preparation, right? And how you're going to use the PAR method. With every candidate that I work with, at any level, we work very, very hard to come up with 2 well-defined stories. Well-defined can mean a lot of things to different people, but to me, it comes down to knowing who was a part of the story, a lot of the actions or things that happened within that story, and then what was the result of the story, good and bad. When it comes to talking about negative things that have happened to you, projects that have failed, bad relationships, that is okay. The goal for the behavioral interview is for you to be able to talk about how you overcame those challenges and how they propelled you even into something new, or how you took what you learned and passed that along to someone else. It is a major red flag from a recruiter if I'm talking to a candidate that has nothing negative to say. Now, I'm going to pull it out of you, but if you're doing this on your own, you really have to be honest with yourself and flip that into a positive light. There's a thing that recruiters and a lot of salespeople hate to do, and it's called role playing.
Boom. Sell me that pen. Why? Go on. Pen? That's my boy right there.
This pen.
Selling. Thank you.
Why don't you do me a favor? Write your name down on that napkin for me.
I don't have a pen.
Exactly. Supply and demand, my friend.
Role playing is when you act out or perform as if you were another person that's in a specific situation. When it comes to practice and in this section, you really need to visualize, put your mind, put your body, and visualize that you are interviewing with everything that you've researched, the stories that you've come up with. That's going to be the key here. So pro tip number 1. I know everything that I mentioned kind of seemed like a huge pro tip, But trust me on this one. You've done the research on Glassdoor. Let's say you found 10 questions. The goal should not be to have 10 questions, 10 stories. Go back to my original point of having a minimum of 2 solid stories. You really maybe want to peak out at 4 stories that you can tell inside and out. You then parse those questions that you found from Glassdoor and you kind of align them. What this question goes well with this one does not go well. So if it doesn't go well, how would I still ask it if they ask this when I'm talking about this story? That's going to help you be as prepared as you can be. For an example of how you can write out and practice all things behavioral prep, I've also linked some of what I believe to be the best videos from different recruiters, from different HR professionals, interview coaches that's out there when it comes to these questions. So I guess to summarize this video, number one, you need to know the PAR method. You need to understand it, do a little bit more research, check out, again, shameless plug, our behavioral prep guide. And when it comes to the preparation, you need to get on Glassdoor. You need to research those questions. You need to physically write them out. And lastly, when it comes to practice, you need to have your minimum of 2 stories. Take those questions and then interchange them based on the story. In doing that, you're golden. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. For more videos like this, hit subscribe or again, check out our site, recruited.tips. Thank you.